Welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophia, piloting into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking ocean/industrial age concepts that first introduced to Eastern Asia by Japanese scholars. Okay, 动地 can see simplified Chinese versus traditional Chinese, quite a huge difference. Traditional Chinese looks a lot more like the seal script dictionary. That's the first standardization of Chinese back in like 2000 years ago. And I always unpack to as far as I can see, because earlier versions, it will be like a garden variety of the same concept, just different renderings. And this is first the standardization. So I go for the standardized version of Chinese back then from the first dynasty. Actually, I mean, language is such a service for political power. So the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, kind of founded this effort of standardizing our language. So that's what we inherit even today, even if through history, through the use of that, things got simplified, streamlined, rectangularized. But this is how Chinese originally conceptualize what is move, what is discuss, and actually move and discuss together. These two Chinese characters, Japanese scholars picked to express motion. So what is a motion? Motion is in a, I guess, democracy. It's people gathering together to talk about things. And to start a motion is almost like start a topic, start a discussion. So here we have move, discuss. That means you kick off a discussion of a certain topic. And that's what motion is about. So the translation of such very Western concept by Japanese scholars, apparently they had good understanding, grasp of what motion is, and simply is use extremely simple character, just two characters to give you as much complete definition of the concept they're translating as just two characters. And that's like the major thing about what motion is to start a discussion. And here we go. 动意, 动, move. We talked about that a few days ago. Here again, 动 is a Chinese picture of farming. Somebody, this is a person sitting on top, left corner, and start to work this plow. Look how similar, like vividly, it depicts the rake picture. Like these days, whoever do the gardening thing probably know this shape well. Even if today we got contemporary material or shape or technology can make it more user friendly, but the concept is the same throughout history, right? Humans, ever since they start this plowing or raking thing, it has these sharp edges, and this top is the handle of it. So farming too, plus this human, supposedly the farmer, and then start the time and the place here. The time denotion is by the concept of east. The east is made of the tree symbol, which is canopy of the tree, root of the tree, connected by the trunk of the tree. That three structure with a sun embedded behind the tree trunk. This sun symbol is an oval shape. Basically, it's a squashed circle, right? With horizontal line. That's the energy denoter. So some fiery ball, that's our Chinese sun symbol, is behind that tree trunk. That means it's early morning. It's just barely sunrise. And the sun is still look to us like barely above the horizon. It's behind the tree trunk. It's not even on top of the tree yet. So that gives you the timing of the farming activity. And then the soil symbol. Soil symbol is two horizontal lines connected with one vertical line. The first horizontal line is at ground level. The vertical line is whatever plant you're growing. And then the second horizontal line is the indicator, is equivalent to today's arrow pointing. It's pointing to your attention to the very end, the tip of the plant. And that by that we mean it's surrounding the root of the plant, which is the soil. Very logical. And we have the space, the soil, farm soil, and then the timing, the early morning when the sun just rises from the east. And that's our east concept. And plus the farmer, the human on top of that. Somehow the stacking up of a human on top of this tree canopy with the sun below it and the soil together, they form the concept of heavy. And my guess is because it's farming activity, probably in ancient times is the most heavy labor back then. It's before, I guess, humans know how to control farm animal to take the brunt work of the heavy lifting of farming. Humans were the muscle power back then. So when a human appear at the sunrise on top of the soil, and that's the start of heavy work, and that's the concept of heavy. Plus the plow or the rake on the right side. That means that person using this tool start to move. It's guaranteed. It's already give you a storytelling, right? Like when, where, who, doing what. There's 4 storytelling elements already in there. And the only logical conclusion, I guess one of the many possible conclusions is this person is going to use this tool at this time and space, going to move through the farm field. So that becomes our move symbol. Okay, discuss is a very interesting concept. E, okay, it sounds E. It carried over from the right side. This is our E symbol. It simply means moral. And moral concept is quite abstract, right? When we think about the moral, how do we moralize this moral concept? We have the sheep symbol on the top, which is the horns, fluffy hair, 3 rows of horizontal lines. That means it's anti-gravity. It's fluffy, it's not dripping down. So we can imagine the sheep's fur. I guess the sheep's distinctive features are its horns and its furs. And that's our sheep simplification. And sheep as a symbol in Chinese culture means the best kind of meat as the premium meat source. And Chinese culture use that lamb, kind of similar to English concept, as animal meat sacrifice to God, to divinity. And that the association with lamb to mean the premium, the best of us, the best of the meat, the best we can give, can offer to the gods, right? So that's the lamb symbol over there. At the bottom, it's 我, it means I or me. And actually this I and me is today's concept as I and me, like individual, it's me, separated from anybody else. But in ancient times, later on, I realized it's actually from the perspective of the ruler, because the whole language system is to serve the purpose of the ruler. The ruler used the language to rule a piece of land and people on top of it, to express whatever the ruler wants us to believe in, right? And so this concept of I actually is made of 2 weaponry. So it's like a double, not a double barrel, no, not double gun or double sword, equivalent, similar to double sword. But this gu is an ancient type of weaponry. It's supposed to be kind of a staff with an axe attached to it, and eventually it got like a broken up. It lost its original look. But from the sharp edges on this character, you can kind of guess it's kind of a weaponry. It's pointy. And the left side is supposed to be a mirror image of the right side. But because the left and right and handwriting to streamline things, it started to look a little bit different from the right side. But it got a lot of sharp edges as well. So both the left and right, kind of, because humans, we have 2 exactly 2 hands. So the maximum we can equip ourselves in terms of holding weapons is each hand hold a weapon. So this double-handed weaponry holding picture, from the ruler's point of view, that's a definition of individual. And for the ruler point of view, this individual holding two weapons, in peace times, they can be farmers, and these can be converted back to farming tools. But in wartime, they are warriors. So this multifunctional individual utility, or the individual's purpose to either be a productive unit of the land, be a farmer, double-handed farming tool hold, or be a warrior to defend this piece of land. So that person, most likely man, even if we occasionally have female warriors, but this role, farming, like farmers, majority dominantly male. So you can see this double-handed weapon equipped imagery from the ruler's point of view is this useful person can either produce or defend this piece of land. And that becomes the concept of I somehow. All right. There you can see like who can be I, can be counted as this useful number or head count for the nation to be able to be drafted into the military or to be a productive member on the land. In either cases, that was not everybody. It's only useful for the point of view of the ruler. Okay, so this I symbol paired with the lamb become virtue. So my interpretation is almost like the high morals of a culture is calling for individuals' eyes, double weaponry equipped eyes, to be sacrificed as if it's a lamb, premium meat, for the purpose of the bigger picture, which is either the ruler, you can view it as to die for the ruler, to defend your country, to defend the kingdom, or the piece of land or your community. Sometimes the rulers kind of mix up the two concepts. So you're fighting for your home, you're fighting for that ruler at the same time, right? So that becomes the boiled down version of what moral means. And morally speaking, okay, the left side is a speaking side. And we have mouse symbol and there's two downward arches are the tongue symbols, and simply pointing toward the mouse and then signifying it's inside the mouse, so it's its tongue. And then we have two horizontal lines. It's a sound bites traveling through time and space, diminishing. And together we have the organ to make speech, and we have the speech, the sound waves as well, make the concept of speaking. So morally speaking is a Chinese way to say discussion. That means you are trying to understand each other and kind of have a fair exchange of opinions. And you're kind of going beyond yourself, your individual interests. You're kind of for the common good, for the more, like a lamb kind of kindness. With that type of talking is the Chinese definition of discussion. So move, discussion is a Chinese way, 动意, to say motion. All right. Thank you for your time. See you another day.